Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, in today's episode, we've already blown clean through the first month of 2024, but before we do officially, we must, as we always do, obey the Riddler and do our Q&A. It's one of our more fun episodes, so you know the deal. Riddler goes up, you drop your questions down below, and we just take them the order we came in on. Of course, we go very long here, so chapters tool down below with a brief description of the question. But we're talking about my favorite American Express products. If I could only have one credit card, where would I live if I could live anywhere, which I guess technically I could. So all that and more. So of course, if that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, batting leadoff is Caesar. He's always first, which I do appreciate, but he's such a troll, so then I don't really appreciate it. So I don't know, a lot of mixed feelings with this first question, but here we go. I basically answer anything, so I guess I have to. So it seems that you enjoy Amex products and was wondering if you ever considered moving away from Amex products. We know you prefer Amex for business checking account and also maxing your Amex Business Gold card. Here's the thing. Amex Business Checking is okay. It used to be better, but they merged it all under this blueprint app that they're trying to do. And you can tell when you load it that it's trying to do single sign-on, but it stutters when it goes to the directory or something behind the scenes to pull your information. And for whatever reason, Business Checking, it'll show you your Amex business cards, but you can't do anything with them like every other app. You have to go out to the credit card app, which I find very annoying. They could do better. I would expect better, actually, because their credit card app is nice. I do like that, but the banking one, it leaves a lot to be desired in this new blueprint thing. But I do like Amex Business Checking because it's actually surprisingly hard to find a business checking account that doesn't have fees associated to it, and theirs doesn't. It has a decent user interface, and it keeps me from losing out on churning a business account because Amex is always once per lifetime. So in the spirit of your question, I don't think I would switch my business checking account. Now the Amex Gold card I hate it. It's a disgusting card. I don't understand it. I mean, I got it because it had the $150K offer. And by the way, if you haven't gotten it yet, the annual fee on that is set to go up on February 1st. So check out profitfulcontent.com to score you can learn more. I think that's what I'm supposed to say. You can learn more about the Amex Business Gold over there if you have it. It would make sense to pick it up before the annual fee goes up. We'll link the website down below for you, as we always do. But no, I can't stand those products. But in the spirit of your question, I'd answer it nicely. So there you go. Anyways, T. Lewis, best duo, City Premier, Custom Cash, or City Premier and the Custom Cash, Capital One, Venture X and Saver, Platinum and Gold for Amex, Sapphire and Freedom, or Wells Fargo and Autograph. I feel like it might be the Autograph and the Active Cash. Why? Because they're both free. They're both no annual fee cards. You get a 2% to cover everything. Then the Autograph does give you a lot of 3% options. Again, yes, it's more travel focused, sure, but there's stuff in there that you would do every day anyways, so that might be my choice. Plus, we don't have them at the time of taping, but Wells Fargo is supposed to be giving us transfer partners, which would definitely change the answer. I don't know, again, who knows what we're getting, but we're supposed to be getting them. But because it's free, I like it the best, I think. And I do like those cards. I have the Autograph card. I like the Premier card. It's just tough because I'm I don't know, $95. Yes, you get the hotel credit. I know Citi has transfer partners. I've never really heard anyone rave about Citi for travel, even though they have it. Platinum and Gold is just too expensive for my taste. And, of course, again, the green card, in my opinion, only exists to nerf those two cards. So it's just too expensive. I could make a strong argument for the Venture X and Saver as well. You could do that. So I guess I'd go Wells Fargo, then Capital One. The problem with Chase is Chase really needs to be supported by multiple Freedom cards. It doesn't multiple Chase cards. It doesn't really work as a duo because, again, the Sapphire Preferred is really a card that which I have. I've had both Sapphires, but you really just keep it for the benefits in the travel portal. It kind of doesn't carry its own weight as far as usages, where the other cards, I think, carry their weight, more or less. So, that would be my order. Oddly enough, Wells Fargo, because it's free, then Capital One, then, maybe Chase or Citi, and Amex last, just because it's expensive. Those do complement each other nicely, but you're almost at, $1,000 for credit cards? That's a lot of money, man. Nathan Cashback here. I'll try not to troll you about Amex like Caesar here. Well, that's good because we're 3 questions in. We put an Amex quota on this thing. What did you want to do in your life when you were younger, and do you think it makes sense where you ended up given that? Like, yes and no. I mean, because after the age where you wanted to be like a Power Ranger and a Pokemon trainer, like hardcore, I didn't really want to do anything. Like that's the answer. Like I didn't want to I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. Like, I didn't really want to do anything. I just remember being like really mad all the time that I had to go to school. I really didn't care for school. And then when you're done with regular school and then you have to go to college and pay for it, I was even more mad. So I was really just more so like, let me get through this as fast as possible. I don't think I went to college year round at night and just went to work during the day, and I did the whole master's thing. But I never really, out of all that, like a career track never really emerged. But I'd say a theme emerged more so than anything else was that if you'd ask me early on, I would just say like, I just want to be the boss. Which, sure, but you don't really, I think you don't really realize how deep or how high verticals and org charts are in corporate America. So you just assume, well, if I'm the boss, then no one's telling me what to do. But I think I was probably just trying to articulate the fact that I'm just tired of people telling me what to do and that you have to go to school, you have to do this, and you have to do that. And so from that regard, what I do now, again, I have a real job, right? But what I do now as far as like doing this, the channels, the Discord, the website, the houses, that tracks based on like the mindset and the annoyance, because it's more so, what are we calling it? How do you break out of the matrix? And there's really only one way to do it, which is kind of like buy your freedom, so to speak. So doing this type of stuff does support that, because back in the day I used to sell like anything. I would sell my lunch when I was a child, as we used to get sent to school with like, bring your lunch, but everyone had pizza from the cafeteria and I wanted pizza, even though looking back that pizza was probably disgusting, but still I wanted it. And so I would sell my lunch. I didn't know how much money it was worth, I just knew that money was good, so I'd sell the snacks like fruit roll-ups and stuff. Sold Game Boy games that I'd beat already versus trading them in. I sold candy for like all of high school, just like a box, just flipping candy bars, things like that. So I've always found different ways to be enterprising, I guess, and make money elsewhere, money on your own. So I guess that would be the prevailing theme. And then again, remember, I just ended up in banking because the bank was a job that called me back that I could do. And I think while I happened to be in banking, I learned enough. I was like, oh, well, here's where the money's at. Maybe I can use this information and take it outside and start doing my own thing. But I think I'll always have a W-2 job, because nothing can really replace that income at that level, at least for the foreseeable future. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but maybe I was just like this close from being a deadbeat, and then all of a sudden I was like, well, maybe we could just do this instead. So there you go. I was not the most motivated of children. I don't even think I'm motivated now. I just think I'm disciplined. So there you go. I didn't just wake up one day and was like, I want to be a bonus hunter, but that would be a neat story. Average Joe, since you're more about cash back than travel, what would be the best travel credit card in your opinion if you were about to travel? I mean, it might be. It depends on what you want. I mean, I could see it. I can still to this day see an argument for the platinum card. I mean, if I was traveling all the time, like I did like it from the standpoint of like you get your Sky Club access. I know it's going to be limited now, but you get that. And at the time, Hilton Gold was good because they gave you the breakfast, which I hate saying it was free, but like, it was included, and now it's a food and beverage credit, which is a little bit different. So at the time, it probably would have been the platinum, Still, the Sapphire Reserve still doesn't do a whole heck of a lot for me. They are building out the lounge network, which is nice. It's just never, the 550 is just never, it's never been supported. I mean, so I guess like it would have to going to be the platinum, or like you could also make the argument maybe for one of the Marriott. Loud neighbor drives their car by like a perfect time. It's like 8 o'clock at night too when I'm doing this. Is like the worst part. Anyways, I don't know if that came through in audio, but that was the pause. So anyways, maybe you could make an argument for one of the Marriott cards, because I'd probably do a Marriott setup, because the thing I like about Marriott, one, Marriott's fine with me, but two, it is shared between Chase and American Express, which means it's very easy to earn Bonvoy points. So I'd probably still do something like that. I still don't know if I'd want to pay for the Brilliant card. I do think it's decent. Ritz Carlton card, it's back in metal. You still can't apply for it directly, but it's back in metal. So it'd probably be some combination of that, and it might be the platinum. Again, if I had to travel and I was going places all the time, then I think it would be that, even though it does hurt in my opinion, that they are limiting the lounges and they haven't given you anything in value in return. I can't really think of anything else. I mean, Capital One is nice, but I don't know. I still think they're going to nerf it, and they keep denying me anyway. So I guess maybe I'd change it to the Business Platinum. How about that? I'd go Business Platinum because that one's at least easier to use, slightly easier to use some of the credits, in my opinion. I would do that one, and I would probably complement it with a Marriott card, perhaps, or, go heavy chase so I can still earn Marriott points, things like that. I think that's what I would do. Luke, Uncle Luke as the people call him. He said, I know you're not a huge football fan, but how does the community feel about the Lions' success so far this year? By the time this video comes out, I'm sure they'll be eliminated. Are you so sure? Are you really sure? You have little faith? It's been fun watching them win this year. It's been huge. I'm just going to really, the whole state is a huge trash can. I don't really have like this state allegiance. I don't care what you say about them, but people love it around here, man. I didn't go. I watched the game. I used to be a bigger sports fan, but then like everything comes on so late, and I go to bed at like 9. I'm trying to brush my teeth by like 8:45. Like I'm going to bed. It's 8:20 at night. I'm going to bed like right after this. Not that anyone cares, but it's been huge. Like people love it. They've been doing stories on the news about how it's been good for downtown Detroit. What else? The draft is going to be here, and they've had to sign up. Like, I still worked downtown when they had to sign up. That's almost been like a year and a half. They were that excited, maybe close to 2 years. Plus, it's coming off the Michigan National Championship as well. My dad's a big Lions fan. Like, he gets visibly upset anytime they lose, so he's been sort of happy. You see a lot of people walking around with, like, brand new Lions gear. There's the old faithful, like the hat that has the sweat and tears in it, And there's, like, this brand new hats, like, crisp blue, not faded at all. So, overall, I think it's been really good. It's been a fun thing, to check out, have something to talk about. I think they could take the Buccaneers. Again, this will be out after the fact, so saying this now, I could totally be wrong, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that they find themselves in the NFC title game. 49ers would be a different take, but the Packers, they could surprise them as well. So I do follow it casually because I feel like as a dude, it's one of those things you just have to be able to talk about at least a level down from surface just to know what's going on. So, there you go. There's our Lions update. We will see how they do, but overall, everyone's been pretty psyched about it. Skegel here, looking to build out my cashback setup. What card issuer should I look at? Currently have Freedom Unlimited, Flex, Custom Cash, Discover as my main cards. I also have 2 Quicksilvers, PNC Cash Rewards. I want that card, but they denied me. Sapphire Preferred, and Ink Cash, Blue Business Cash, and Blue Business Plus. So your cash back. So, you do have a 2% card there in the Amex Blue Business Cash. You could look at it 2 ways. You could go just bonus hunting, which would be fine because that's still cash back. Or you could, if you want to add more cards, 5% cards are always going to be the way to go. I think you could get a U.S. Bank Cash Plus in the mix. The Shoppers Cash Rewards is good for 1 year. So I would probably go Cash Plus. And then I believe I've seen people get the Shoppers Cash Rewards, which is 6% back, on like $2,000 and spend it at like 2 stores that you pick. And like a year later, I think for right now, you can actually downgrade it to another Cash Plus. I think I've seen people say they've done it on Reddit. So that's one I see you could pick up as well. Autograph card, I think, still has a $300 offer. That could be a keeper and a backup. That'll be like my backup. I need a travel card. It's only 3x, but still a good intro offer there. I wouldn't be opposed to going back to the well-known city to try to get even more custom cash cards. Apply for double cash when they have that $200 offer. Change it in 6-8 months, sometimes a year, depending on who you call in and answer. I think that would be a good one. Depending on where you live, you got a PNC card. You might be in the area. I'm always a big proponent of the Huntington Business Voice card. It's a 4x back on a category of your choosing, up to like 7x in spend a year. Things like that. AAA cards, don't sleep on those. They are weirdly good. You can get one of them. I think there's 2, the blue ones that are issued by Commenty or Commenty Bank, but there's the ones like 5x gas and EV charging. The other one's like 5x groceries. They're capped, but those are still sleeper cards to add in the mix as well. And then, of course, if you wanted some more category cards, I think Bank of America's customized cash card could be a decent one to look at as well, especially because they do have a bank promotion going on for $200, so you could do that plus the credit card. That would be pretty good. Or again, you could just kind of go the bonus hunting route as well. But I mean, I think either of those options will be get you through the next few months and add some 5, 4, and 5% cards to your lineup. Let's see. What else? I pressed the wrong button. All right, here we go. Geno here. Do you send payments from your business checking to qualify for all the direct deposit requirements? If so, do you know if Novo works well? So he's talking about the second channel and primarily the website run on the bank and profitablecontent.com, which is always linked. I think we already plugged that, but it's always linked down below for you. So yeah, because a lot of the bank promotions, they require a direct deposit, and some people don't have regular jobs. I myself did not have a real job last year, as we've talked about. So yeah, last year I used business accounts. I use Wise more. Wise was it's like a payment service for sending money. It's primarily meant to send money internationally, but you can still send it to yourself in USD, which is fine. I use that because it's usually the one that will work the best with no guessing games. There's a small fee associated to it, but I have heard Amex Business Checking works well, Chase Business Checking works well, and Novo also I've heard works well. I believe there's a $50 sign-up offer for Novo, and wouldn't you know it, we have it for your profitable content. There's no real downside. The downside are two things, and when it's a guessing game, a lot of these banks make you wait the full 90 days before they pay you out, so you never really know for sure unless we've seen a lot of data points that says what works. The other one is that if you have to get into an argument with the bank later, and if you've sent it from a business account that you opened as a sole prop, it's still usually going to say your name dash whatever. Sometimes you can enter in payroll in a text field or something, and so if you have to go back to the bank later, it's harder to argue on versus when I send them from a real business account. Even my Wise account I set up under the LLC, so it comes through as profitable content dash payroll because I type in payroll when I send it. That's a little bit easier if you have to go back and argue on, but other than that, there's no real downside to doing it. So yeah, I definitely think it's worth it. Now that I have a direct deposit again, I just use that so it's not a guessing game, and this company uses Workday, so I can still send it a bunch of places. But yeah, all of last year I was using Wise and business checking accounts, and I still got about 12 grand so in bank promotion. So yeah, I would do those things. Why not? All right. Michael Keaton here. What credit cards would you get if you didn't have to pay the annual fee? All of them. I'm in the military, so I don't have to pay them, but I think it's a different issue where I have too many options. How many Uber credits do you have? Do you just eat Uber for every meal? Amex Chase cashback, I have almost all the cards. 9 Amex. Good for you, man. It's the least they can do. I'm curious what route you'd go. So in the spirit of your question, I'll make it what cards would I keep and actively use, because the answer is all of it. If I don't pay the annual fee, I'm getting all of them. That's the answer. But it is the model of the platinum card that annoyed me the most was when it went up and it was just this, you had to get back your credits, and I hate the effective annual fee argument. But if you're telling me, I could still have the card for free, and then airport life could be better because then you could have access to the Sky Club. Again, they're nerfing it, but sure, I would still have that card because it's more so about making life better. I think, as I've said before, I think people say, well, traveling's fun. No, traveling sucks. Getting to your place is fun. Being there is fun. But the act of traveling is kind of annoying. So it'd probably be a platinum card for that. I think you could also go, I don't know if I because I still would want to earn cash back, so it wouldn't change my mindset, but it'd be more so I'd keep a card like that, for the lounges. I'd also probably get Adventure X. I'd get the lounge cards, and then I have them, and I'd also selfishly just go do lounge reviews. I'd still have to pay for the travel, I guess, but it's business expense. So I'd probably do Adventure X and a Sapphire Reserve at that point, because then you can go anywhere and you can get access to all that stuff, and you just have them in your back pocket. So I guess I would keep the Shoppers Cash Rewards too from the last question, because that's a $95 annual fee card, but it's a 6% card. I guess I would keep that one. But most cashback cards don't have an annual fee that I would be interested in. I don't think. I'm not thinking of anything. I guess you could argue the City Premier then. City Premier, I throw that's a lot of 3X in there. But again, I'm still trying to get 5X, so why would I go back to that one? So yeah, I guess that's my. Oh, I could also, as a Bank of America preferred rewards person at Platinum Honors, not to brag, it's really not that impressive. It's saying Platinum Honors has basically become my version of all the guys who like to travel and they remind you they've gone to those fancy places. So you can make fun of me. I should probably get one of the Bank of America travel cards. Because then, that would be my best earning travel card, plus it'd be no annual fee. They're not amazing cards, but for the multiplier alone, that could work. So maybe I throw something in there like that as well. I think that's what I would do, because it helps support the setup, and it's more in the spirit of your question than just sign up for everything, which you should still sign up for everything. So there we go. Badger, what are your thoughts on personally identifiable information with bank account bonus hunting? Do you have any concerns having your sensitive info spread across so many institutions? At this point, no, yes, but no. I'm like aware of it. It's out there, but it's one of those things where we talk about banks. So I'll answer in the context of banks, but you can't really go anywhere to any company and not give them some level of personal information. Sign up for a phone plan. They're going to demand a social security number, billing address, and some of it is understandably why it's required. They need a place to mail you documentation because that's how they track it. Legally, breakup letters and things like that have to come through the mail. But you name it, everywhere we go, they want to protect themselves the maximum amount by getting as much information as they can, and then, things happen. The part here that's not talked about enough is that, banks don't really want your information within reason. They're collecting a lot of this information because of KYC, which is know your customer, know your client, whichever they choose to say in the Bank Secrecy Act. And so the government's saying you got to collect all this information. There's no real reason you need a social security number for a deposit account, right? To the bank bonus question. Yes, it's concerning, but I don't know how we can get away from it, right? So yes, you do increase your level of exposure, but I'm over 50 accounts a year, so I'm kind of way past it at this point. Any one could be the one, so I just try not to think about it. Really, and of course, it's really just the preventative measures. It's freezing your credit, things like that, because that's preventative versus relying on credit monitoring, which is important. You should have it, but that's reactionary. So I do think we'll get to the point where it's like health insurance, and you'll just have to have some kind of identity theft protection added on as well. So I don't really know if I answered your question. I don't know if there is a good answer to your question. Yes, it's concerning, but it's everywhere and everyone wants our information, and it's kind of required if you want to deal with them, especially in the banking world. You can just have a regular account. So I kind of just do that and then take the standard measures to protect yourself, have a set email address that you don't use anywhere else, password manager, have Chrome or whatever, just generate the password for you, because then, it's a better level of protection. Don't reuse passwords, close accounts, lock debit cards that you aren't using, or I don't even activate the debit cards if it's not required. Things like that you can do to help. But yeah, it's tough because I've had a few 2 or 3 debit cards that I've never used end up getting compromised, somehow, which is a little bit different than, the personal information, but it happens, and it's tough because you don't always have eyes on that stuff. That's why closing them is so much important, just not even for the churning sake. So I don't know what we can do about it, but it does seem to be a bit of an issue. Brady Smith, that nice green logo next to your name as a channel member. Hey, RJ, with the announcement that Chase is making the Ritz card metal again, is there hope to see the card open for application? I don't know why it's not open for application. It's arguably the better Marriott option. The Brilliant card isn't terrible. It's just at $650, but the Ritz card at $450. I think is one of their better options. Plus, it's a Visa Infinite, which isn't too bad, especially after the Marriott card refresh. I think the Ritz is maybe the better option. I don't know why it's not in the lineup anymore. Only thing I can think of is it came down to somehow when they had the split between Amex and Chase. One of them said we're going to have the higher end cards and not Chase, so they had to retire theirs. But I don't know. I think normal people don't really care that much, and they wouldn't even know. So do I think it's coming back? No, but it is an odd choice of why they made it plastic, and then they're proactively telling people it's metal again to have to ship out cards. I don't know if that was a play to save money, and then they still want people to use these. If nothing else, I guess it tells me the product is still going to continue on, because the thing you have to worry about when cards are not, or any product isn't available, is that the company doesn't want to support this product forever. But if you're going to go through the hassle of making it metal, reprinting cards, and telling people you're doing it, who are probably going to ask for the metal ones, I think it's at least going to be around for a while. So back to your question, why keep it around for a while if you're not going to introduce it? Because it's kind of become one of those things like if you know, as the kids say, of how you can actually get it. Like the common person isn't going to know about this. So I don't know, but they did just refresh the Marriott card, so I think that would have been the time to bring it back. So I don't think they're going to add it to the lineup, but I also think it's good because it's going to be around for a while. But if they did add it to the lineup, they probably would bring it in a little bit more expensive because I can see Chase saying, well, hey, I want a $550 fee. Or $650 fee card like they have to. Or maybe they keep it at $550 to keep it with the Sapphire Reserve and the Visa Infinite line. I don't know, but they should bring it back. They definitely should. Woody here. If you decided to use all or part of your 150k Amex Biz Gold points on an international trip, where would you go? And well, it's bold of you to assume I haven't cashed them out for 0.6 cents yet. Anywhere in the world. I don't know, Australia maybe. It just seems like why not just go to the other side of the world? I could see I feel like, the Japan or Tokyo thing would be interesting, but do I really feel like going through and trying to just navigate the whole thing? And I assume some people speak English. I don't know. Australia just seems like it's just on the other side of the world. Why not fly around to the other side of the world, see what's going on over there? Kangaroo? I don't know. I don't have a good answer. I guess that would be my answer. I don't have a reason other than it just seems like cool to go to the other side of the world and see what's going on. I don't know how you get there with MR points. I'm sure someone could help me out with that. Japan seems like, or, I'd probably maybe, they have the Formula One races over here. I'm a bandwagon fan, so maybe you pick a race. Maybe say it's Monaco, and you just go that, which I hear is not a really good race, but, it's just, a crazy epic place of, you've got yachts and people with gold watches and stuff and Ferraris everywhere. That could be fun. Maybe that would be the answer. Or at least a F1 over the real Ray over there. That could be the option as well. So something like that, I think. Or just say them and go to the Super Bowl when the Lions go, because Luke of Little Faith thinks we're going to lose this weekend. Inevitable. What's your favorite ways to manufacture spending? I really only do two. It's credit card funding is probably the best. So credit card funding is when you use a credit card to fund a bank account. So example, I finally got my Susan G. Komen Bank of America card, and it wasn't much. I got it to buy other things, but then I opened up a U.S. Bank business checking account for the offer, of course, $800, and they allow $3,000 in credit card funding. So you just do it for Bank of America. I hit that instantly in one swipe. I overdid it. It was only $1,000 to spend, but then when the money's over in Bank of America, I just set up a bill pay for that Bank of America card, ship it right back to the Bank of America card, pay it off. $200 for Bank of America. I have to do a lot more work with U.S. Bank to get that bonus, but still $1,000, all in, not too bad. The other one, I guess, would be buying gift cards, not the Visa reloads. I've really gotten away from doing that. It's just too much. A lot of stores don't want to hand them out to you. They hide them. Some places don't want to send you the money orders. So it would just be generic gift cards. I gotta load up on some Home Depot gift cards, and I'll be grabbing my Freedom cards and going to the grocery store and loading up on Home Depot cards versus just trying to figure out what the best card to use at Home Depot is, which I don't know. It's kind of manufactured spending, but those would be the two ways. I know there's some other crazier ways people have tried, but I value the chase. I value the setup of build too much to go ultra aggressive with it. There's some things we know we can get away with within reason with certain banks, like funding bank accounts or buying gift cards, and I think that's fine. So going much farther than that, I don't really feel the need to. But those would be my two go-tos, and that's why I don't go much farther than that, because one, it's just become a hassle, and two, why at this point, why risk getting shut down and losing a good portion of your card? So that's what I do. Wealth of opportunity here. We should be asking you questions. Would you ever consider moving to another state or even another country? It's the funniest thing because I could. I got a remote job now. It took a year to find, so they're out there, but it took a year. So I think there's certain states I can work in because of that. They're not based in my state, but just assume that I could work anywhere and keep the same job and do this. The thing is, I just don't like care enough about anything outside. Like it's because if you move to a certain place, it's usually for you like the temperature, you like the area or the atmosphere going out, or the water or wilderness or something. I don't care about any of that, man. Like it doesn't bother me that it gets cold here. Like it's been negatives here and snowing like every day in Michigan. Like I don't really care. I just go do the same things no matter what. You just gotta drive a little bit slower, be a little bit safer, whatever. Warm the car up. But for that reason, I don't. There's nowhere I'm like I live here because I happen to live here, and now kind of like where I live is fine because it's like within my budget, which means I know if I go one way. Houses like house that I have is probably like I don't know 380 maybe right now if you believe Zillow. You go one direction, the same house is 425, 450. You go another direction, the same house is going to be in the fives. But here where I live, it's affordable. It's not cool, it's not fun, it's affordable, and you can still start to accumulate an empire. And you don't have to make an insane amount of money. So that's why I'm a fan. If I did move anywhere, for the spirit of the question, it would probably just be someplace with no state tax. So you're probably talking Texas. Like some of the videos that pop up of houses people are, I don't know. I mean, you're just talking about reels that pop up, right? So I didn't, zero research, right? But some of the reels that pop up, dudes buying houses in Texas, like for the amount of money, is like insane. It's like these brand new constructions are like $500,000. Like you could save up for 2 more years, sell one of them if I had to. Like I live here now in this amazing house. Texas would be good, or probably the Nevada thing. Florida would just be too hot, I think. So it'd be one of those, but it'd be for the no state taxing, not because I care about it being warm or care about the atmosphere or any of that. Country, no, I don't. I'm not that cultured. I don't care. I'm a patriot through and through, sir. It's America or nothing. I'll come visit, but no, freedom. So there you go. I tried to make it fun. Evan Gibson says, based. No one knows what this means. I looked it up, and I don't even remember. But he says it on every single one, and it bothers people because they don't know what it means. We're looking it up now. Based as the foundation of something. That's probably not it. Urban Dictionary. A word used when you agree with something or when you want to recognize someone for being themselves. Oh, i.e. courageous, unique, or not caring what others think. That's Urban Dictionary. I'll put this on screen. So there you go. That's what based means. The opposite of cringe. Sometimes the opposite of biased. Okay. So basically just, the person who goes online and makes fun of Amex cards and says they could live anywhere, but I'm boring, so I'm just going to live where I live because it's affordable. Thank you, sir. And to everyone who always wonders what based means, now we know. I appreciate the compliment. I also like people who agree with me, so that is good. He put a question mark there, though, so maybe he was asking me if I thought I was great. I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm going to answer yes. Humility, not one of my flaws. So, next up. Is there ever a point where you have too many credit cards? How frequently do you put spend on a credit card you don't use to keep it from being canceled? Is there a minimum amount? Lastly, when do you pay it all back? So I know we have a video on how to keep credit cards active. So the long story short is like once a year, usually you got to use those things. You could do, I'll say this, quarterly is like the best way to check in on your setup because that's when the quarterly categories change. So pull out my giant wallet, which I don't have on me, but you've seen it. Pull out the giant wallet and then, go through the cards, swap the ones you need into your wallet, whatnot. Quarterly is a good basis. And if you wanted to do it then, like I think last year, I didn't really use my Huntington Business Voice card much, but I want to keep it. So I think I did like a $5 Amazon reload on it. There is no set amount. It's just activity that they're looking for. And some cards, they'll just keep open. Others, like my Wells Fargo Business Platinum, I used one time for the bonus. They mailed me a letter and said, hey, if you don't use this, we're going to close it. I just let them close it because I don't care. But I would say at least once a year, but quarterly maintenance would be good. It doesn't really matter. Just do an Amazon reload and you'd be good to go. So they just want to see the activity. It doesn't mean they won't do an audit and eventually lower your credit limit because they can see, hey, you're not using much of this and it's still a liability to have extended you that much credit. So they might go through and lower it and they can reallocate it to newer customers in the portfolio, what have you. So that could definitely happen. But as far as keeping them active, Amazon reload, buy a pack of gum, whatever, that should be fine. I do it once a year with that card, but every quarter, every 6 months, you'd be fine. You could also automate it, just make sure to remember that you set auto pay so you don't forget, but they can be good. As far as having too many cards, I mean, kind of, sort of. I mean, not from a management perspective, like you can handle that. We can teach you how to do that. But, City went on a streak for a while with the Premier where they were denying people because, well, at least for me, they're like too much unused available credit, which means you have just too many credit cards that you're not using, and they can tell. So, like, why do you need more credit from us? So that can kind of hurt a little bit, but again, I think you can get around that by I let the balances report now, which means I let the statement end, the bill comes, then I pay it in full, which is also the answer to your question, when do you pay it all back? If I know I'm done with the card, then I might just pay it right then and there to be done with it, but like I just did that with the Amex Gold card. As soon as I spent my last bit to hit the 10 grand, paid it off, threw it in my folder there in my wallet and just be done with it. But for the most part, I like to let them report now, so it does show activity on the card. If you're, I think that's fine. It can show activity, but no, I mean, in certain situations, having too much credit limit with Chase, they're sensitive to how much they can extend you, but you can still get around that. At one point, they were asking people at application who needed to, in their opinion, to reallocate credit limit, or you can just call in recon if that's the reason why. You can shift credit limit to the new card and they can get it approved. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Honestly, I don't worry about it too much, but those are some tips you can use. I think we covered all your questions there. So yeah, I think you're good. You're doing it right. So 2 more. Boxer Kid. If Sauron was alive, what card would rule them all? Also, what card would defeat him that Sam and Frodo use on him? Defeat evil ones. So Sauron is the guy from the Lord of the Rings. The giant eye, like if you go back far enough, he was actually a dude, and I think they cut off his hand and took the ring, and that, again, you've seen the Lord of the Rings probably. What card would he use? Well, he was really into the ring, right? The ring was gold, but he was also into like uniting cards, right? Because the point of the ring was it was a one ring to find them and bind them, because there were like 7 of them, right? So really, the only issue with it really makes a lot of sense. I mean, it would probably be, in this argument, I guess he'd be like the JP Morgan Reserve card, bringing together all the other Chase cards, to make his one more powerful, because that's probably the largest trifecta that we have. You could make an argument for American Express, I guess, but it doesn't really support the ring theory, the rings. I think just, for more cards. Yeah, I guess I would go with that. You don't see the JP Morgan Reserve out there a lot. I mean, you could throw out the Centurion card because it's black. It's allegedly a powerful card. You could throw that out as well. The Centurion doesn't need support from the other rings, though. So you could go one of those two probably, because there's going to be some powerhouse card. Or you could go the opposite way. Since he's just an evil person, he's actually fake, and he's actually the luxury black card, which is like a wannabe, because, he was at one point, and he's just kind of coasting off what he used to be. He used to be this guy, now he's just an eye in the sky, right? So you could go the luxury black card as well. What card would they use to defeat him? Tell you what, they could just call it in the beginning instead of 3 movies later, like the giant eagle at the end of it. What card? I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. What card beats that? I mean, it would be something simple, because the Hobbits aren't like super powerful people. So it'd be like some no annual fee card that like just kind of overthrows him silly. Like what would be the antithesis to the luxury black card? It'd probably be something like probably a Bank of America card, because it's America and freedom, right? And that's what we do. We overthrow people. So it'd probably be something like that. I don't have a good answer for that one, but I think the luxury black card might fit. So you let me know down below if you guys are Lord of the Rings fans, which card they would use. But I think I'd go luxury black card to represent him as a sham, and then something patriotic. But it would be like cheap and weak, but it would somehow overthrow him, because anything is better than a luxury black card. So maybe it would just be like a city double cash. I'm like, here you go, dude. And he would, oh no, I'm defeated. You found out my secret. Anyways, Jimmy James, last one. Let me refresh. Yes, last one. If you could only have one credit card, which would it be and why? I mean, the answer might be the Amazon card. You can buy a lot of stuff off Amazon. Plus, it does unlock the ability to buy gift cards off Amazon at 5%. The downside of Amazon is like their customer service is not it used to be pretty good. Now it's not great at all. you go through the Amazon Prime Reddit thread, you can see them asking for requiring IDs just to return stuff, and it's not good. So I don't know if I want to like hitch my ride to Amazon, but Amazon card for me unlocks a ton of stuff. I mean, if not that, then I guess it'd have to be something like my Bank of America Unlimited card, which is 2.6%. I do have a channel member and a friend who's always telling me about this card, AOD from AOD. I think it's a credit union or something. I can't remember what AOD stands for, but he's got like a 3% card. They don't make it anymore, but it's like a 3% card. He gets 3% back on everything. It'd probably be that card. It's not in production anymore. But it would be that one because it's 3%. If not, I guess you could either go 2.6 back on everything, or you could go the Amazon card and you still have access to a lot of 5%. Because even I gotta make like my Home Depot run, like I said, I think they sell Lowe's cards on Amazon, right? And Best Buy and Apple and restaurants and things like that. So that one I still think is a really good card. But I guess those are the ones that come to mind. Everything else is, because you look at it, you can get 2.62% back. Again, talking about my cards on everything, or a card like a Wells Fargo Autograph or City Premier that gives you 3% on a few set categories. Well, 2.6 is not that much less than 3 that I think you'd make up the difference over time on everything. So it'd be one of those two, I think, if I could only have one. But again, I am a fan of Amazon, and I do think that would be probably the way to go, or the Bank of America Unlimited Cash Card. One more refresh, make sure everyone has answered or asked, and we're good. So that was, January 2024 Q&A. So I appreciate everyone who wrote in. Of course, let me know down below follow-ups, or just tell me where I was wrong or what ridiculous thing we've talked about. Love to get your thoughts on all of it. I won't ask you any questions because I already did. Of course, if you like this one, consider subscribing to the channel. Of course, dropping a thumbs up down below. And of course, if you like this, well, again, we're posting content just like this every single week, right back every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was on credit and finance. And of course, as we said, every single day over on profitablecontent.com. That's the channel's blog, where of course we have the latest news stories. We have bank promotions, which we talked about, and we have credit card offers, which we also talked about. I think I do have one for the Amazon card at the bottom of the credit cards page. Of course, we have that Amex Gold card. That's, again, the time of taping, the annual fee is set to go up soon, so grab it while you can. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for those who wrote in, for watching this long. I know some of you like it when we also almost make it to an hour. Some of you hate it. We almost made it, but that's good. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you very soon in the next one.